Welcome to Old Coins Quarter Dollar, Sparkle's movie camera. Hello, friends. Welcome to my channel Old Coins Quarter Dollar, where we explore the fascinating world of old and rare coins from around the world. In every video, we dive deep into the history, value, and interesting facts about some of the most collectible and valuable coins ever minted. If you love coin collecting or simply enjoy learning about history through coins, you're in the right place. Make sure to watch the video till the end. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel for regular updates on valuable coins you might have in your collection. Person with praying hands, thanks for your support. Let's get started. The 1980p Washington Quarter Dollar is an important issue in the long-running Washington Quarter series, struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period when American coinage was undergoing major transitions in production techniques, mint mark usage, and public circulation. This coin carries a traditional portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by sculptor John Flanagan and based on the famous bust created by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdon in 1785. On the obverse, Washington's left-facing profile dominates the coin's surface with sharp classical features that symbolize leadership and stability. Above his head is the bold word liberty, serving as both a design element and a philosophical reminder of the nation's founding principles. To the left of Washington's neck appears a motto, "In God We Trust," which had become a standard inscription on American coinage since the 19th century and was officially required on all U.S. coins by law in the 1950s. Beneath Washington's portrait rests the date 1980, denoting the year of mintage, and just beside the ponytail of Washington is a small P mint mark, which was introduced for Philadelphia coins beginning in 1980. Prior to that year, Philadelphia minted quarters bore no mint mark, making 1980 the very first year P appeared on a circulating Washington quarter, a fact that adds historical importance to the issue. The reverse of the 1980p quarter continues a classic heraldic eagle design that had been in use since the coin's introduction in 1932. The eagle is displayed with wings spread wide in a position of strength and authority. In its talons, the bird clutches a bundle of arrows, signifying the nation's readiness to defend itself militarily, while just beneath rests an olive branch, symbolizing America's preference for peace but not at the expense of security. Above the eagle's head appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a reference to the union of the original 13 colonies into a single nation. Around the upper rim of the coin is inscribed United States of America, while the denomination quarter dollar is struck in bold lettering at the lower rim. Together, these design elements emphasize the national identity, unity, and ideals that the coin was intended to represent. The eagle design, though simple, had become a familiar fixture in American commerce and carried deep patriotic resonance during the 20th century. From a physical standpoint, the 1980p Washington quarter is struck from the same copper-nickel clad composition that had been adopted in 1965 when silver was removed from circulation coinage. This metallic formula consists of an inner core of pure copper bonded to outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, resulting in a coin with a silvery appearance while remaining far more economical to produce than its 90% silver predecessors. The specifications are consistent with all modern quarters: a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge with 119 ridges. The choice of clad composition provided durability and longevity in circulation, ensuring that these coins could withstand decades of handling without excessive wear, a characteristic that explains why many 1980p quarters still circulate today, more than 4 decades after their striking. The mintage of the 1980p quarter was extremely large, reflecting the growing demand for coinage in an expanding U.S. economy. In total, the Philadelphia Mint struck 635,832,000 quarters in 1980, making it one of the highest mintage quarters of its era. This enormous output means that the coin is not rare in circulated condition and can still be found with relative ease in pocket change or bulk coin rolls. However, the significance of the coin lies less in rarity and more in its numismatic milestones, such as the introduction of the P mint mark for Philadelphia. Collectors often seek the 1980p quarter as a type coin to represent the beginning of this modern mint mark tradition, which continues on nearly all Philadelphia issues to this day. For numismatists, condition is a key to value. While worn, circulated 1980p quarters are only worth face value, uncirculated examples that have survived with full luster and minimal bag marks can command premiums, especially in the higher mint state grades. Coins graded MS-65, MS-66, and especially MS-67 are much scarcer due to the handling and storage practices of the time, which expose coins to contact marks before they even left the mint. The grading services have certified some high-end examples, and these represent the top of the market for this otherwise common issue. Collectors also seek proof versions from San Francisco, bearing the S mint mark, which was struck specifically for collectors, though these are entirely separate from the Philadelphia business strikes. The year 1980 also represents a fascinating transitional moment in the broader story of U.S. coinage. Throughout the 1970s, coin collecting experienced a revival, thanks in part to the popularity of bicentennial designs in 1975 to 76, which featured special reverses for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar. By 1980, however, the mint had returned to its standard designs, and the Washington Quarter Eagle reverse resumed its long tenure, which would last until 1998. The introduction of the P mint mark was part of a broader modernization process of the mint, reflecting both a desire for consistency and a recognition of Philadelphia's role as the oldest and most important U.S. mint facility. For nearly 2 centuries, Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark, with the assumption that the main mint needed no special identifier. By the 1980s, however, with other mints like Denver and San Francisco firmly established, adding the P created uniformity and eliminated confusion, especially for collectors assembling complete sets by date and mint mark. In terms of design appreciation, the 1980 P quarter remains firmly within the late Eagle reverse era of the Washington Quarter series, which spanned from 1965 to 1998. Collectors often study these decades for subtle die varieties, minor errors, and quality differences between mints. Some examples of the 1980 P quarter show strike weakness, particularly on Washington's hair and the Eagle's breast feathers, due to the mint's emphasis on speed and quantity over detail. Error collectors also prize off-center strikes, double dies, and clip planchets from this year, although these are rare compared to the total mintage. As a whole, the issue serves as a window into the mass production practices of the U.S. Mint in the late 20th century, when billions of coins were struck annually to keep commerce flowing smoothly. The 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington Quarter is one of the most iconic circulating coins in American history, created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and the birth of the United States as a nation. Unlike ordinary quarters that bear only a single year of issue, this special coin carries a dual date 1776 to 1976 on the obverse, symbolizing the span between the nation's founding year and its bicentennial celebration. It was part of a broader bicentennial coin program that included the quarter dollar, half dollar, and Eisenhower dollar. Each of these denominations received unique reverse designs chosen through a national design competition while retaining their familiar obverses. The bicentennial quarter thus represents both continuity and change. Continuity in the form of John Flanagan's portrait of George Washington, which remained on the obverse, and change in the form of the new reverse design, which broke from the long-standing heraldic eagle motif. The obverse design of the bicentennial quarter continues to feature George Washington's bust, sculpted by Flanagan, which had been in use on the quarter since 1932. Washington face is left in classical style, with bold facial features inspired by Houdon's 18th-century bust of the first president. Above his head appears the word liberty, reaffirming the founding principle of the United States and tying directly into themes of the bicentennial celebration. To the left of Washington's neck, in smaller but clear lettering, is a national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that reflects the religious and moral values often invoked in American public life. Below Washington's portrait is a distinctive dual date 1776 to 1976, set apart from any other quarter in the series. Instead of a single year of mintage, this dual date was applied to every bicentennial quarter regardless of whether it was struck in 1975 or 1976, ensuring that no quarters exist dated 1975. This decision unified the coinage of the period and created a symbolic link between the past and present. The reverse of the bicentennial quarter is where the coin departs most strikingly from tradition. Designed by Jack L. R., who won the national design competition organized by the U.S. Mint, the reverse depicts a colonial drummer in Revolutionary War attire. The drummer faces left, striking a drum with a resolute expression, his tricorn hat and long hair emphasizing the 18th century context. To the left of the drummer is a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies that declared independence in 1776. The imagery blends the ideals of patriotism, liberty, and unity. The drummer is not a general or president, but an ordinary citizen soldier, symbolizing the role of common people in winning independence, while the torch and stars evoke freedom and the collective identity of the fledgling nation. Around the top rim appears the inscription United States of America, and beneath the central design, in block letters, the denomination $quarter. Just above the drummer's head is the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, which ties directly to the bicentennial theme of many colonies forming one nation. From a technical standpoint, the bicentennial quarter shares the same specifications as standard quarters of its era. It has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge. The composition is a copper-nickel-clad alloy, a pure copper core bonded with outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. However, in addition to these standard circulation strikes, the U.S. Mint also produced special 40% silver bicentennial quarters for collectors. These silver coins were offered in proof and uncirculated sets, packaged alongside the bicentennial $half and dollar. The silver-clad issues weighed slightly more due to their composition, and are distinguishable by their brighter, whiter luster and heavier feel compared to clad coins. These special silver issues were never released for general circulation, making them scarcer and more prized by collectors today. The bicentennial quarters were struck in huge numbers to meet both the public's demand for circulating coinage and the special excitement surrounding the 200th anniversary celebrations. The Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, Denver Mint, D, and San Francisco Mint, S, all produced bicentennial quarters. Philadelphia and Denver struck the bulk of the circulation coins, with hundreds of millions entering everyday commerce, while San Francisco struck both clad and silver-proof versions for collectors. In total, more than 1.6 billion bicentennial quarters were minted, making it one of the most heavily produced commemorative coinages in U.S. history. This massive mintage ensured that nearly every American who handled coins in 1975 and 1976 encountered the bicentennial design, and many people saved examples as keepsakes of the national celebration. In terms of historical context, the bicentennial coinage program was deeply connected to the patriotic spirit of the mid-1970s. The United States was celebrating 200 years since the Declaration of Independence, and festivities included parades, historical reenactments, and a renewed appreciation of the revolutionary generation. The Mint's decision to redesign the quarter, $half, and dollar was part of this larger cultural effort to connect Americans to their history. Coins were an especially effective medium, since they were carried daily by millions of people, and thus served as miniature monuments to the bicentennial ideals. The drummer design in particular captured the spirit of ordinary Americans who fought for liberty, and its prominence on a circulating coin allowed every citizen to participate in the celebration. For many, these quarters became treasured mementos, tucked away in drawers, jars, and albums as keepsakes of the historic year. Numismatically, the bicentennial quarter presents a fascinating study. Because of its enormous mintage, circulated examples are extremely common and hold little premium above face value. However, uncirculated examples with full original luster and sharp strike are highly collectible, particularly when found in grades of MS-65 and higher. Proof versions, especially the 40% silver proofs, are more valuable and sought after. Collectors also studied die varieties and mint errors, as a large production run created opportunities for double dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. Some of the most desirable bicentennial quarters include deep cameo-proof strikes and high-grade silver examples certified by grading services. For modern collectors, the challenge is often not acquiring the coin itself. It is abundant, but rather finding pristine examples with exceptional eye appeal and originality. Culturally, the bicentennial quarter is remembered with a special nostalgia. For many Americans who lived through the 1970s, these coins are a reminder of a time of national reflection and pride. Children collected them from change. Families set aside rolls, and even people with little interest in numismatics often saved at least one as a souvenir. Unlike most circulating commemoratives, which appeared decades later, the bicentennial coins were truly national in scope and widely beloved. Even today, they turn up in circulation, delighting those who find them. Their distinctive design stands out against the ordinary eagle-backed quarters of the era, making them instantly recognizable. In the broader history of the 1988 P. Washington quarter dollar represents one of the final years before the United States Mint transitioned from the classic eagle reverse design to the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Struck in Philadelphia, as denoted by the P mint mark placed just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse, this coin belongs to the series that have been in continuous production since 1932. The obverse features a dignified portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, originally designed by sculptor John Flanagan, who was tasked by the Mint to adapt Washington's likeness based on Jean-Antoine Houdon's neoclassical bust of the president from the late 18th century. The obverse inscriptions include the word Liberty placed boldly above Washington's head, the date 1988 beneath his neckline, and the national motto In God We Trust tucked neatly to the left side. The composition of this quarter, like all circulating quarters minted since 1965, was made from a copper-nickel-clad alloy, a pure copper core sandwich between outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, designed to balance durability, resistance to wear, and the silvery appearance that visually resembled the 90% silver coins that preceded it before silver was removed from circulation coinage in 1965. On the reverse, the 1988 P quarter displays a heraldic eagle design, a patriotic image that had been standard since the quarter's redesign in 1932. Flanagan's eagle, shown with its wings spread widely in a powerful stance, clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing America's readiness to defend itself, while beneath the arrows rests an olive branch, representing the nation's preference for peace whenever possible. The words United States of America curve along the top rim, while the phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a long-standing national motto, appears just above the eagle's head in smaller lettering. Beneath the eagle, at the lower rim, the denomination quarter dollar is engraved in strong block letters. Together, the obverse and reverse motifs capture the enduring symbolism of America's foundation: liberty, faith, unity, strength, and peace. From a production standpoint, the Philadelphia Mint struck a massive 562,052,000 quarters in 1988, making the coin readily available in circulation at the time, and still relatively common today in worn circulated condition. This was during a period when the Mint was producing hundreds of millions of quarters annually to keep pace with the nation's increasing demand for coinage. While the overwhelming majority of these coins were released into general commerce, some uncirculated examples were preserved in mint sets for collectors, and the San Francisco Mint struck proof versions in both clad and silver for special collector sets. Because of its large mintage, the 1988 P quarter generally holds only modest value above face in circulated condition, but coins in high mint state grades, especially those with full sharpness, clean surfaces, and no contact marks, can command stronger premiums from serious collectors. Gem-quality examples graded MS-66 or MS-67 by third-party grading services are much scarcer due to the heavy production and distribution process that often resulted in bag marks and abrasions before coins even entered circulation. Designally, the 1988 P quarter is a continuation of the Washington quarter's pre-statehood era, representing a long chapter of American numismatic history that ran from 1932 until 1998 with minimal alterations. Collectors often study coins of this period for strike quality, luster, and die variations. Though no major widespread errors define the 1988 P issue, occasional varieties such as double dies, die breaks, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies exist and are sought after by error specialists. The Philadelphia Mint, being the primary producer of circulation coinage, was known for its high-speed presses and massive output, which sometimes led to small inconsistencies at the day of numismatic interest. Most coins, however, were well within acceptable standards, delivering consistent, workhorse coinage intended for everyday use in commerce during the late 1980s, a time of strong economic growth in the United States. Historically, the Washington quarter design itself had originally been intended as a one-year commemorative issue in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. However, it proved so popular and practical that it replaced the standing Liberty Quarter permanently. The design lasted with little modification until the late 1990s, when the U.S. Mint sought to invigorate coin collecting and public interest by introducing rotating designs for each state, effectively ending the long reign of the Eagle reverse after 1998. Thus, the 1988 P quarter stands as part of the final decade of the traditional Eagle-back quarters, which today are remembered with nostalgia by collectors who grew up using them in everyday purchases. In terms of physical specifications, the 1988 P quarter has a standard weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge consisting of 119 ridges. These dimensions had remained consistent for decades, allowing interchangeability in commerce and vending machines. Its metallic composition, with a total makeup of about 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, gave it both resilience and the silver-like appearance valued by the public after the removal of true silver coinage. Even though the clad alloy has far less intrinsic value compared to silver, the durability of these coins has ensured that many 1988 P quarters remain in circulation even today, nearly 4 decades after their minting. For collectors, the 1988 P Washington quarter carries significance not because of rarity, but because it represents a quintessential late 20th century American coin, widely used, easily recognizable, and deeply symbolic. It tells the story of America's coinage system in a period of transition, bridging the era after the silver coins of the mid-20th century and leading up to the modern commemorative explosion of the 21st century. Many who collect Washington quarters by date and mint mark include this issue as part of a larger complete set, with the challenge lying not in acquiring the coin itself, but in finding pristine examples with strong eye appeal, full original luster, and minimal imperfections. In addition, for those studying die varieties and minting processes, the 1988 P offers opportunities to explore subtle production anomalies and to appreciate the artistry of Flanagan's design before its retirement. White heavy checkmark in summary. The 1988 P United States Washington quarter dollar is a copper-nickel-clad circulation coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint, featuring John Flanagan's classic bust of George Washington on the obverse with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and 1988, and a heraldic eagle reverse with the United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar. With over 562 million struck, it is a common coin in circulation but holds collector interest in higher grades, in mint sets, or with era varieties. Its role as part of the long-running Washington Quarter series before the State Quarters program ensures it remains an enduring piece of American numismatic history, embodying themes of unity, liberty, and national pride.